Alright, in this video, let's take a look at where and how to find undervalued properties in Singapore. Alright, so first off, let's understand what is an undervalued property. Right, so over here, what we can see is that it's an average price of different regions, right? For example, CCR over here, RCR over here, and OCR over here, right? So if you manage to find a property that is priced, just over here, for example, for CCR, right, it's going at 3,000, and if you manage to find something at about 2,700, 2,800 per square feet, that's considered undervalued, right? Or for example, if you're looking for RCR properties, right, currently it's going about 2,600, 2,700, and you manage to find something at about 2,500, 2,400, and that's considered undervalued, right? And this is just looking at regional, right? And sometimes you want to also compare to surrounding property, right? So it could be something like that where, for example, this blue line was selling at 2,100, right? And then at a certain point in time, you find that these properties actually went down to 1,850, right? And that's considered already undervalued from where it was, right? Then you compare to surrounding properties where you see the green line surging past, and reaching 2,000. And this is actually very good chance for you to get in because you know that around this area, there's growth, right? And you can see that past a certain timing, right? And of course, it has to be a good property, right? And you can see that once you miss this opportunity, right, it's almost not possible to get in again because the price has already moved, right? So certain window are very critical. Once you missed it, it's very hard for you to get in again, right? Another example, if you see this green line, at this point, somebody was actually managed to get in and bought it at such price, right? But this is very, very rare, right? And another one that we can see over here is this yellow line, right? It was going at 1,400, 1,450, thereabout, right? And then at a certain point in time, it actually went down close to 1,002, 1,250, and that's the time that people got in, right? Because there's something that they can compare to and they know that it's considered undervalued, right? And from there on, everything just starts rising. So you can see that, it's not just the price itself, it is the price plus the timing as well, okay? And that's why it actually, there's a window of opportunity where you can get in a certain property, okay? Right, so where to find them, right? Older condos, right, may be priced lower on, PSF due to age, but the land value holds strong. And this is why people are very sensitive to certain area, and they know that if a certain price, a certain property is priced at certain value, they will go in, right? For example, it could be District 9, District 10, District 11, District 15, right? These are certain areas that people would definitely want to go into, right? So there are chances where you can also look out for on-block opportunities, on-block potential, okay, or recent area transformation, right? For example, MRT opening, URA master plan changes, okay? Next one could be HDB or EC in non-mature estates, right? But with near upcoming developments, right? So prices may not reflect future value yet, right? But in time to come, the value will start to go up, okay? Next one could be new launch projects with leftover units or price drops, okay? Developer may offer discounts or star buys to clear balance unit. Okay, this one I can share a little bit more with you later on with some examples, right? Next thing, how to find them, right? So we all know that there are websites, there are portals where we can actually go and take a look at, right? For example, PropertyGuru, 99.co. But in recent years, it's getting harder and harder to find because everybody wants to profit and everybody knows the market rate, right? So nobody is going to sell you for a special discount because everybody knows what range to price their property at. So it's getting harder and harder to find properties like that on websites. But you still can, right? It's just getting more rare. All right, we can also compare past and present transactions, and these are through official websites, so like URA, okay? And you can actually see certain price dips and units transacting below median, okay? Right, next one, we need to look at the master plan and the government's plan, right? Because looking at where the MRTs, the commercial areas, the parks and zoning changes, this can also affect the prices, the property prices around the area. Right? And of course, to keep in touch with people who have got first-hand information, right? Like developers or property agents. And a bonus for you, right? Basically, the mindset of a undervalued property hunter, they're not actually looking for perfect properties, right? They're looking for opportunity to get in, right? So it could be poor layout, old reno, facing expressway, but they're priced to sell. But of course, you still got to make sure that the fundamentals are there. It is a good property for you to get in, because you always want to think whether this value can be unlocked over time. Okay. Now the examples, right? So not too long ago, in Chinese New Year, there's actually this promotion that went on, right? And it was going at a discount of up to 830,000. And within 1 or 2 days, basically the property, the units that was left over got sold out. Okay, and that's how fast people react and how fast people get into once they have this kind of information. Okay, so this is only by staying in touch with people who has got this kind of information, and once they know what you're looking for, they can actually send this information to you, right? And another example, right? This is going at 400,000 discount, right? So basically, this is quite straightforward, right? There are people who actually went in at 400,000 more than you do once you get this property, right? So it's very, very straightforward once you see such things going on, right? So another example, right? Sometimes properties, products has been there on the shelf for some time, and the developers want to clear stock. And this is what they will do. They will give discount, all right? Right? Other examples could be auction, right? Sometimes bank sales, sometimes mortgage sales, it happens, right? And these are the kind of properties that will come into my mailbox almost, every week, right? I will see something like that, and I can then share with you if I know where you're looking for, right? So there are multiple examples. I'm just going to show you some of them, and yeah, right? So remember, don't miss future deals, and I mean good deals. Okay, so if you're unsure, you don't know what to do, you can always reach out, you can always contact me. Okay, we can always speak over the phone, or even just going out for a coffee, just a very casual one, just to understand what you're looking for, whether it's location, whether it's budget, whether it's a certain time that you want to move into a certain place or a certain unit, right? We can always sit down and talk about it. All right, and that's all I have for you. All right, so take care, and I'll see you in other videos.